Tales from the wild. Stories from the heart. A journey into the mind and soul of fired-up business professionals where they share their vision for the future. And hear from a different non-profit organization every month as they create awareness of their goals and their needs. Dive into a world of untamed passion as we join our host, Shireen Buerta, for this month's episode of Friends from Wild Places.
Love that.
Wow.
It's excellent. Irma, I want to just move a little bit away from something else that you've done, which is writing a few books. I'm quite interested just to hear from you. Out of the books that you've written, which is the one book that has impacted your life the most?
Well, that kind of is complicated because my first book, Winx, the problem-solving model to win with customers, employees, and your bottom line, is the book that I promote the most. It's the one to help organizations really drive their business by making good decisions. But what got me to even writing that first book was being involved in another book, but I was one of 50 authors throughout the world. And it ended up being an international bestseller. So that kind of started me on the path to writing. But my first book is the one that, I speak a lot about how to make good decisions, we are the result of the decisions we make, right? I'm here because you each made a decision to bring me on. And I made the decision that I wanted to do it. I made the decision what job I wanted, how I responded to people. When I make a mistake, it was my decision. When I do well, it was my decision. So I think it's really impacted. I judge my success based on my customer success because I'm here to serve. And that is really helping people the most, I think. So I will go with that book.
Mm-hmm.
And can you walk us through, Irma, just as far as how many published books do you have out there?
I have 2 plus the one that was, I don't count the first one. So for far as me publishing, I have 2.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you could give a piece of advice to someone, Irma, that wants to start their own business, go on their own and make the leap of faith to become an entrepreneur and a business owner, what would that piece of advice be?
Well, it would be to have immense passion for serving whoever your customer is. Because if you don't have that passion, it's a lot of work. People think I'm going to start my own job and, I could screw off and, watch TV all day. Well, you can, but you're not going to grow your business. But also have the money because you are going to need other resources. You will need help with marketing because if you spend your time in marketing, you should be out there selling your business, right? Make sure that if you don't have great leadership skills, that you get them or that you hire somebody like me or other professionals to help you drive your team and help you with training. So really have a huge passion for who you're going to serve, why, make it from the heart, but then also have the resources and don't be afraid to spend some money on what you need help with.
No, that's excellent advice. Thank you very much. Listeners,
You also have the speaker circuit that you do a lot of speaking engagements, and I want to congratulate you on your most recent you becoming president of one of the biggest ones here, right in Florida. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Florida Speakers Association, which is an elite chapter of the National Speakers Association, is an organization to help you grow your speaking business. And I just became president in June. I'm honored. Yeah, thank you. I'm honored that they gave me the opportunity to serve. And it's thank you. It's such an amazing organization. I mean, if you're looking to grow your speaking business, we bring in people from all across the country who are high level certified, highly certified. There's different levels of certifications, speakers, and we bring them in. It's once a month on a Saturday. And I'm telling you, each one has given me one thing that has grown my business. It's amazing. And one of the benefits of this is we have for Florida Speakers Association is we have something called Association Insights. So that membership alone is like, I think $600. It's included in your membership. Membership's only $450 for the year. And for the value you get, it's just, and the people, I will tell you that I don't think I will ever leave that organization because I have gotten connected to so many people across the United States and some even outside the United States. There's just an amazing giving. They're so giving. They will help you in a minute. I met this one speaker. Her name's Patricia Fripp. She's like she's like a legend. And when I first met her, like I saw her name on her name tag, and I thought, I'm meeting this lady. And there were people swarmed around her, right? So I waited for an opening and I got in there and I said, Patricia, I am so honored to get to meet you. I will tell you, I felt like I had known her for my lifetime. She was so kind. She introduced me to a lot of people. I mean, it's just a wonderful organization, not just to grow your business, but for personal reasons as well. And we just got a new venue. So we have our monthly meetings Saturday mornings, once a month. And we're going to go to the Improv in Fort Lauderdale, which has a beautiful stage. It has a green room for the speakers. It's just a beautiful venue. So I'm very excited about the whole thing. I've got a great board of directors. There's like 17 of them on the board. It's wonderful. So thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And can you share with us though, so it's Florida Speakers Association, but then you mentioned people like that you've connected with internationally. So what's Florida based about it? Do you have to live in Florida, be in Florida? Are you looking for a speaker in Florida?
Yes.
Elaborate on that.
Yeah, so you have to live in Florida to belong to the Florida Speakers Association, although the national level, you could obviously live anywhere. So there's Florida Speakers Association and National Speakers Association, of which Florida Speakers is a part of. So you could belong to one or both. I belong to both. And as far as the Florida Speakers Association, you could live anywhere in Florida because we have hybrid. So we have both in person, where people come to the venue, and then we have people who only watch on Zoom. And then we save all of those videos. So all the speakers, if you're a member, can go back and watch those videos.
Very cool.
That's
Very cool.
awesome.
And the goal of the Speakers Association is to get, I would assume, but I don't want to assume anything, to get speaking engagements like keynote speeches and things like that, and or have speakers come into businesses. But I'm hearing that you also get a lot, even just from hearing the speakers, so some takeaways that you can apply into business.
The Florida Speakers Association is to help you grow your speaking business. So the speakers that all come in with the intent of helping us grow our speaking business. So they do speeches and they're amazing, but they may not speak on their topic. They speak on what will help us, because as a speaker, you always want to know who your audience is and what they need, because we're here to serve our audiences. And so they come in to serve us. And then the Florida Speakers Association bought that membership for Association Insights. So you can find all these different associations throughout, not just Florida, but in fact, we're having a meeting on July 22nd where one of our members is going to train our members on how to use that platform. So it's helping us find speaking engagements, how to apply for them, and all that stuff. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. As you could tell, I'm very excited about
Yes, thank you
Yes.
for sharing. Congratulations on your presidency.
Yes, so I
Thank
just want to say congratulations as well. But I also want to, ladies, we've come to the end of our podcast so fast. It's flown by, and I didn't even realize. So before, we get to the final light-hearted part of the podcast, this part of the podcast is the most important, and that is our nonprofit of the month that we're supporting. And so, listeners, that we absolutely emphasize the importance of taking your mind off yourself. Life's not always about what's going on in our worlds. There's a lot of people out there that are in need, and to become selfless is to help others. And you can't be selfish if you're thinking of others, and at the same time helping others brings happiness, and I really truly believe that. So this month's nonprofit is requested by Irma. Neighborsforneighbors.org is the organization we'll support this month. But Irma, would you mind just sharing with us and the listeners what Neighbors for Neighbors does for the community, and then how can we support Neighbors for Neighbors? Can we donate? Can we donate our time? Like how can we help?
Yeah, you can do all those things. So Neighbors for Neighbors really helps. They look at the different things going on, whether it's the floods or a hurricane or, whatever the needs are. And they're amazing. They're just amazing. And I don't know the inner workings of them, but I like how they are always paying attention to the bigger needs and then helping us give there's so many people that say that, give us this money for this, not, for this problem, and then it goes into their pocket. So they're a very trusting organization. So I would just go to their website and see what you could do, both in volunteering or, supporting who you want, who we could support.
I love that. I love that. And that's super important. Neighborsforneighbors.org. The link will be in the show notes, or the information will be there, listeners. Please take some time out to go and look on the websites and familiarize yourself with what they do. I think especially after the Texas floods and just seeing that devastation that's just happened, it's so good to have organizations like this that are there, willing to help their neighbors out. So, with that being said, we've come to the light-hearted side of the podcast. Just to end it off, we have some fun questions to ask each other, and I'd love to actually hear this from you guys. My first question is, have you met anyone famous? Have you met anyone famous? Tanya, do you want to start?
Sure. So I guess we have to start with, well, define famous, right? Because it could be famous to somebody, like for example, I met Susan Lucci, who was a all-time star on All My Children many years ago, and I was just mesmerized. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, and just had the opportunity to chat with her for a few minutes, and so I have met Susan Lucci. I just an honor to do that. As far as, political people, I have met the governor of Florida, and that was an interesting conversation. So I guess, when we say famous, it could be whether it's musician, met a few of those in my day, but I think it's just relative to who we perceive as famous, right? And who we hold near and dear to our hearts. So, all right, I'll turn it back over to you, Shireen. How about yourself?
Right. So many of you know, I used to be a cabin crew member on board aircraft. And in my years of being a cabin crew member, I have seen many, many, many passengers. And one of the passengers, and I don't know if you're familiar with this actor, but one of the passengers, he was sitting by the window, and it was, and I might be swapping his names around, his first and his last name around, but help me, ladies. It's Elba Ibris or Ibris Elba. He was the guy that's played in movies like, I'm gonna think about it. He's an African actor, a great guy.
I can't picture.
Ibris. Get back to me because I want to actually mention a few of his movies that he's been in. But he was on board my flight. I was so excited. You know, you're not supposed to disturb the famous people that come on board your flight. You're supposed to be
Right.
super professional because they don't want to be bothered. But I was like a little giggly girl. I was like, walking through the aisle, quite smiling to myself. Anyway, Irma, what about you? Is there any famous person that you've met?
Yeah. So 10 pounds ago, I had a dance company. Now, this is while I was working full time and traveling. It was my passion. It was my fun job. And we opened for the Temptations once.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I lived in Pittsburgh. So I got to meet the Temptations.
And Irma, I've met you in person, and I don't know these 10 pounds more or less. You look beautiful, so I don't know what 10 pounds you're talking about. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and many less wrinkles ago. How about that?
oh no, you're beautiful. We consider you a famous person having you on the podcast. So,
Oh, yay. You're so kind. You're
I
so
love that.
kind.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So just to confirm, it's Idris Elba. Idris. He's an English actor and musician. Goodness me, Shireen, you can't read. And he's a Golden Globe Award winner, BAFTA Awards, and 6 Emmy Awards. Some of the movies he was in, he's got Masters of the Universe, Children of Blood and Bone, High in the Clouds. Um, Luther, he was in Luther, he was in The Wire, Fast and Furious. Any of these movies ring a bell? The Mountain Between Us, The Suicide Squad. Does that ring a bell, ladies?
Let me see, Luther. Was he the main character?
One of the main characters, yeah. Heads of State. He was in the Amazon Prime movie called Heads of State.
Is this
Uh,
him?
yeah,
Is
that's
this
it. That's him.
him? I
Yeah,
love technology as much as I hate technology.
I know. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention some
How
of.
fun.
I know. I was very excited. That's anyway. So here's another last fun question. How would you spend a rainy day? How would you spend a rainy day? Irma, let's start with you.
You're not going to believe it, but rain gives me energy. When it rains, I can get all kind of projects done. Things that I hate to. I'll even clean the house, which I hate to clean the house. I pay somebody to clean the house, but I mean, I'll go through drawers, and I don't know. Rain just gives me energy. I don't like the sun. I live in Florida, but I don't like the sun. It hurts my eyes. So rainy days, I do stuff,
That's
busy stuff, work stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Tanya?
so for me on a rainy day, and we do get quite a few here in Florida, I love just staying in my apartment. I love to nap, so I actually will take a few more naps. And I'm also a bath person, so I'll take a few more baths. So naps and baths on a rainy day are my vibe. So in between work, of course.
I love a little bit of jazz music playing, listening
I
to
love
the
that.
raindrops falling and hitting wherever you are, depending on where you are, but you're hearing those raindrops falling. I love a big comfy blanket covering my legs with a good book when it's raining. Um, or if I'm watching a little bit of TV, it's at nighttime, and it's a cold, rainy day. Please bring me a good old fire and some Harry Potter movies to watch.
Oh, fun.
Yes, and Shireen is our Harry Potter enthusiast. So I've
Ah,
never even seen the movie, so I always admire her because she's so into it. Like my daughter, same thing. They love Harry Potter.
fun. That's
Ah,
awesome.
sad. I'm sad to say that we've come to the end of the podcast, listeners. So let's take a moment and just If any of the listeners are inspired by one of our stories, especially you, Irma, and they would like to reach out, where can they find you?
My website is paronegroup.com, Parone, like par one if you're a golfer, paronegroup.com.
That's awesome. We'll
Or
have,
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
are you? Okay, good. We'll
Yes.
have that in the show notes as well for the listeners. Tanya, what about you?
Sure. So my space definitely is LinkedIn. If anyone is considering a career change, wanting to become a funeral director and embalmer, I do oversee the program at Miami-Dade College, and we are one of 3 programs in the state of Florida. Also, I hold space for seniors, matching people with communities who can no longer live alone. So I specialize in assisted living memory care, and the little casitas that we have in Florida. We are a Florida-based company known as Sunshine Senior Placement Agency. I also hold the space in expert witness, serve quite frequently. I actually have 12 cases I'm working on right now for funeral home and cemetery wrongdoings, issues, complications. And also, I'm going to add to this list, because I need to continue this conversation with Irma, is for speaking engagements. So I would love to learn more about the Florida Speaker Association, and but I am available for speakers, and also having speakers come into the virtual class, and also me presenting. And as you, Shireen, stated earlier when we first began this podcast, my verb is to inspire. So I live through inspirational leadership.
Love.
So yes. And how about you, Shireen? Where can we find you?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, you got LinkedIn, obviously, is where Shireen's bookkeeping services. You can find Shireen's bookkeeping services on the other social media platforms as well. You find me, Shireen Buerta, as well on all the socials. You can follow my travels and whatever else on Instagram and Facebook. But more importantly, Friends from Wild Places are on all the platforms from Spotify to Apple. So if you want to listen to us, you can go there, or if you want to see our funny faces, we do have the YouTube channel Friends from Wild Places. So go check us out, please. Leave comments, tell us what you think. Share it as much as possible. We really appreciate it. You can go to friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. That's the website, friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. This is where you can also go and find all of our episodes and many more. And you can go and subscribe to support us. We really appreciate it. And once again, please let us know your thoughts. Send us some questions. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, thanks so much for listening. And you got this. And stay wild. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Friends from Wild Places with Shireen Buerta. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast from the links to catch every episode and unleash your passion.